Welcome to Silicon Valley, California, World Center of Technology. We have something very cool for you today. Follow me. Today we are in Silicon Valley visiting Northern California chapter AVS and their technical symposium in conjunction with equipment exhibition and student poster session. Well, nothing better than let's just talk to some of people who are at this event. And here we go. We are here with Chris Malosky. Chris Malosky is chairman of Northern California chapter AVS. I would like to ask you, Chris, if you can give us a little more details about this event today that we are experiencing here, but maybe before you go with this event, just in general, if you can tell us a little more about American Vacuum Society.
Well, the American Vacuum Society is a very old society. It's mainly engineers, scientists, and other type technicians who work in the vacuum industry, and they get together every year, and we have a national, which is the American Vacuum Society, and the Northern California chapter is one of the oldest chapters. We're actually the largest chapter of the American Vacuum Society with a good attendance here in Silicon Valley. So we've been doing this is our 43rd year of this event, and I'm happy to be the manager of the exhibit and the chairman of the Northern California board. We really are focused in this area on student participation because typically our membership starts as a student in usually a grad student or somebody in one of the universities, UC Davis, UC Berkeley, any of the local universities, Stanford, and that's where they usually start becoming a member of the American Vacuum Society.
How about your equipment exhibition? How many exhibitors you have?
We have 55 exhibitors this year. We've had as much as 100 in past before COVID. So we have had a downturn a little bit, but not much. The attendance is still wonderful, about 400 people. It works perfectly for this venue in Silicon Valley. In fact, it was called the Marriott Silicon Valley. And so our local chapter here is very much involved. Again, we want to start with our students, bring them up into the society. But if you walk around in this equipment exhibit, the first thing you'll notice is the wide diversity of not only nationalities, people, but of age groups. That we have everybody from a grad student all the way to somebody of my age, which is or even older. So it is one of those where we attract a wide range of talent in this industry because, as we know, we started here with Intel making microcircuits, and it went all the way up to now we use coatings for all kinds of things. Automotive, Tesla, right across the way, they actually have a coating facility. So cars actually are done in vacuum.
In a matter of fact, I saw some people from Tesla.
Yeah, so we have Tesla here, Lam, Applied Materials, Novellus. There's NASA is here. We have from University of California, Berkeley. University of California, Merced. That's like where they come from the Debacle Lab. So it's like a wide range come from this area. So we're very blessed to have this wide group of people, engineers, technicians, scientists, gathered in one spot.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, besides the poster session that you already mentioned, I think this is your 13th annual poster session.
All right.
43rd, if I'm not 43rd, mistaken,
correct, for the
equipment exhibit. You also have a technical symposium.
Yeah, we actually give talks this year. It's research and development enabled by our national labs. And our national labs are represented by Sandia National Lab, SLAC, which is Stanford Linear Accelerator, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, which we call the Advanced Light Source, and they are all here giving you presentations and up-to-date research being done.
Chris, thank you so much for this. Such a good introduction to this event. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
All the best. See you. Here we go. Being at AVS event, or to be more precise, Northern California chapter AVS event, we ran into somebody who is really interesting actually to talk. He's not from AVS, he's actually from SVC. It's Frank Zimon, Executive Director of SVC. Frank, can you educate our audience about SVC?
Certainly. So the SVC is a nonprofit organization that was incorporated in 1957. Wow. Turns out the year that I was born. I was destined to be a part of the SVC. The SVC focuses on the industrial aspects of thin film coatings. And many of our stakeholders are the exact same stakeholders that are in the AVS.
AVS, yeah.
And if COVID had a good side, the good side is that we now collaborate and cooperate with the AVS.
Is it because of lots of the cross-pollination, or is it just in general?
It's cross-pollination, and we were all desperate to figure a way how to survive through COVID. And desperate measures, desperate times typically conspire for a lot of innovation and a lot of creativity. And as a consequence, you now see us at AVS events, and the AVS is at our events, and believe it or not, on the board of directors, which, oh, surprise, surprise, we have someone from Lesker
Okay.
in the name of Mr. Lee Howell, and we also have an AVS director on the SVC board. So life is tighter, it's more collaborative, and it's one in which we're all building on our individual strengths.
Thank you, Frank. That's actually a great explanation about SVC. Thanks. And here we go. While we are continuing our trip through the Northern California chapter AVS event, we're here at the Kurt-G. Lesker Company booth, and we're talking to Dwayne Bingaman, who is Vice President of Process Equipment Division at Kurt-G. Lesker Company. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did, Zorba.
Okay. So can you tell us a little more about Process Equipment Division at Kurt-G. Lesker Company?
Yeah, so briefly, Lesker started building systems in the mid-'80s. Okay. Over the years, we've evolved into more sophisticated systems, more systems. We've got 1,500 or more systems in the field at this point. Some of the leading research institutes in the country and across the world. We've got locations in the United States, in Europe, and in Asia.
So, just to clarify something, even myself, I know I answered, but I will ask you for audience to specifically explain that. When you're talking about Process Equipment Division, you're talking about every segment of the thin film deposition, basically, that you as a company covering, from atomic layer deposition, E-beam, thermal sputtering.
So that's a good way of putting it. We're every segment of the thin film deposition world. Okay, we do atomic layer deposition, and we do physical vapor deposition. So physical vapor deposition, PVD is going to entail thermal evaporation, electron beam evaporation, and sputtering. Okay.
So at this point, what would you say your preferable marketplace is?
All of them. Okay. Now we serve a lot of different people. We serve the electronics industries, communications, space, medical. Thin films are used everywhere, and that's one of the sort of cool things about the Process Equipment Division. We get to see a lot of different technologies, a lot of new stuff coming out. We see the things that are going to hit the consumer market. We see them 5 to 10 years before they exist.
Which is very cool way to put that, actually, for new employees, maybe potential employees at Lesker Company, that they can get exposed to these new technologies.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges.
Lots of
available.
the challenges too, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
On my right side, I see this poster from KDF. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little more about this acquisition, which happened, I think, in December of 2021?
Yeah. So it closed in December of 2021. We've been working with KDF as the Lesker Company for 3 decades. We manufactured chambers for KDF. We sold them vacuum components. We knew the guys that founded the company and built the company up. So it was a natural lead into our next thing. KDF is a little more production oriented than Lesker was from a systems perspective, making line sputtering systems. But again, to very similar markets that Lesker serves: solar, electronics, medical, just bigger volumes, more production oriented. A lot of the Lesker equipment is very much R&D and small pilot line. The KDF is more volume oriented. So it was a natural evolution for us.
So what would you say, what will be marketplace for KDF tools at this moment? More present in Europe or in US or in Asia?
Well, KDF is a company with over 3 decades of exposure to the vacuum market as well. They grew out of a company called MRC, which was very heavily semiconductor oriented. Between MRC and KDF tools, there's thousands of tools in the field around the world. So semiconductor is very heavily, there's a lot of semiconductor stuff for KDF, but medical is one of the big areas. We're talking with a lot of solar people, and then specialty, unique applications.
Dwayne, thank you so much. I mean, you just gave us in a quick rundown, actually, meaning importance, future, past and future, present and future, I would say, of the process equipment division. Thank you.
You're welcome, Zoran.